Good afternoon. It feels like ages since I last went live on this page, and I am committed to trying and doing this at least weekly. So here I am, and I am coming to talk to you about types of content that are really, really powerful when it comes to getting clients. So often we spend a lot of time creating content as business owners, whether that is social media content, blog posts, emails, web content, sales pages, you name it. We spend a lot of time in content creation, and sometimes it can feel like time wasted. Um, and that's because we don't necessarily get the results that we want. We don't necessarily see the engagement that we want to see. And so I wanted to just come and share these four types of content, which for me, in my own business, and is now what I teach clients and works for them as well, have proven to be the four types of content that really above any others inspire people to take action. And in this case, action being whatever action you want them to take in order to come and work with you. I wanted to just sort of before I dive into the types of content, I wanted to briefly touch upon like the customer journey, because this content used right is super powerful and super effective, but you need to be using it at the right time and with the right people, because if you want someone to become a client, you need to have nurtured that relationship first, right? Very few people are going to sign up with someone who they don't really feel they know yet, who they don't really feel they trust yet, who they don't know enough about yet. And so part of your marketing, part of your strategy should always be around relationship building and making it as easy as possible for potential clients, ideal clients, to connect with you, and to get a sense of who you are, what you'd be like to work with, and whether that's something that they're interested in doing. Okay, so the stuff that you need to be doing in that space. What the types of content I'm talking about today will help with that, but I'm talking about them specifically today in their capacity for helping you actually get clients. So in that respect, the time that you would be using this content is with people who already know who you are. You've already spent some time connecting with them, and they are now kind of actively interested in learning a bit more, in potentially working with you. Okay, that's when this type of content is most powerful, but absolutely it helps in other occasions as well. And someone who doesn't even hasn't spent much time in your space yet would still could still be moved to action by this type of content. So with that introduction, and I should also introduce myself, seeing as this is my page. If you haven't sort of been around here very often, my name is Colette Broomhead. I'm a business coach. I work with mums who have service-based businesses, so basically anyone who works with clients, and I help them to get more of them. And more specifically, I help them to get more clients consistently using simple values-led strategies. So I am all about building a business that feels good, building a business that doesn't have that kind of ickiness factor, that sort of slightly heavy feeling that we get when we're acting outside of our values. So I am all about building a business that's based on our values, building sales and marketing strategies that are based on our values, because these things absolutely can feel good. Yeah, that's what I love helping other mums to do. So with that said, let me talk to you about these four types of content. So the first one, I always have notes so I don't forget what I want to say. My first type of content is really simple. If you want to get more clients, then one type of content you should absolutely be using, and probably more than you think you should, is the direct invitation. And when I say that, I mean a direct sales post or piece of content, right? And there's a few key pieces of information that you want to include when you do this type of content. First of all, you want to say and make it really clear who it is you're talking to. So who is it that you are trying to sell to? Who is your ideal client for this particular offer that you are now selling? So that needs to be front and foremost, because I need to know if you're talking to me or not, and that needs to be really, really clear. So if you are making a direct invitation, make sure that you are super clear on who it is you're speaking to. The second piece of information that you need to include is what it is that you're going to help them with, what this offer, what this thing that you're selling is going to do for them, what results should they expect, what transformations should they expect. So get really good at compellingly communicating what it is your service does. The mistake that people often fall into in this respect is talking about the logistics, focusing on things like, well, you're going to get 6 coaching sessions, you're going to get this, that, and the other. That's the how, that's not the what, that's not what people pay for. So you want to get really, really good at communicating the value of what it is that you're doing. So that's the results, that's the transformation, that's the point B of your A to B journey, right? So they're at point A right now. Where are they going to be after working with you? What does that look like? When you get really good at painting that picture, selling becomes a whole lot easier. So that's the second key piece of information. The third key piece of information is simply what next? What do they need to do? If they've read those first 2 things, they're like, yep, this is for me. Yep, that is something that I really want. What do they need to do next? And it's amazing how often we kind of miss this, or we sort of brush over it and we're not very clear about it. Give people a really nice, clear, transparent next step. What that next step is entirely up to you and how you prefer to sell. So that next step could be book a discovery call. It could be send me a message to find out more. It could be visit this sales page. So there's all sorts of different things that you could get people to do next, but just make it super clear and super transparent what you want that to be. So that is type of content number 1, is the direct invitation that's going to include who it is you're speaking to, what it is you're going to help them with, and number 3, what they should do next if they're interested in going ahead. Type of content number 2 is where you relate to and inspire your ideal clients. So there's nothing like feeling understood, right? We want to be understood, especially by someone who we're about to invest in, okay? So if we're investing in getting help with something, we want to make sure that person or that business fully understands our situation, fully understands where we're coming from, and is on the same page as us, right? So when we can create content that shows that we do understand our ideal clients, then that is really, really powerful content. And to kick it up another notch, if we then take that and show them what could be possible, show them that, paint that picture of what could be, possible for them, that is when that becomes really, really powerful. So anything where we relate to and then inspire our audience is really, really great content. And is, when you can do that, that is the perfect opportunity to then ask someone to take that next step. So and this is, I love this because so there's so much out there in marketing and marketing advice that talks about pushing people's pain points, right? There's a lot of P's there. Pushing people's pain points, that there's copywriting models built around this, and there's tons of marketing tactics around pushing pain points. And there's an element of truth in that, and that, yeah, but who wants to build a business where we're making people feel crappy? But at the same time, we do need to show that we understand the pain points that our clients or potential clients are experiencing. So how do we do that in a way that isn't like aggressive and mean and making people feel crap? Well, we do it through relating. We do it through empathy. We do it through showing that we understand. So putting a mirror up in front of those pain points, so that, yep, they're there. I know that they're there, but doing it with empathy and understanding rather than, this kind of judgment and, in this way that makes people feel crappy about themselves. So that's type of content number 2. So relating to your ideal client situation, empathizing, showing that you understand, where they are, where they're coming from, who they are, and then inspiring them and showing them what could be possible. And there's so many different ways you can do that. You can do that through testimonials. You can do that by, telling other client stories of people you've already worked with and helped. You can do it by sharing your own story. In many cases, we are our own, like, versions of our own ideal clients that, we've been through what we now help people with. So if that's the case for you, you can share your own story and say, look, I understand where you are right now because I was there too, and now I'm here, and you can be too. So that can be really powerful. Or you could even just do like an imagine if type post and just paint a picture and get your audience to put themselves in that picture, and really imagine what it would be like if they could make that transformation that you help people with. So that is type of content number 2. Type of content number 3 is where we shift someone's perspective. And this is one of my favorites. So this is where we take a common belief or misconception in our niche. We take perhaps a common challenge that we know our audience, our ideal clients are facing or struggling with, and we flip it around. We give people a new way of looking at it. We give people a new way of dealing with it. Essentially what you're trying to do is create that kind of aha moment, where you've made someone think about something in a different way. So one example of this, of one that I love to do in my niche, is around pricing and money mindset. And where I know that a lot of the people that I'm working with, a lot of my audience struggle with the idea of charging their worth. And of increasing prices, or they worry about charging too much. They worry about coming across as greedy, selfish, pushy, aggressive, unethical, unethical, and all of these things. And so I love creating content that helps people kind of flip that upside down and see how actually charging our worth benefits everyone. It benefits our clients, it benefits our business, which allows us to have greater positive impact on our communities, on our world, and so on. And getting people to kind of just sort of rewind what their current thinking is, what those perhaps those limiting beliefs are, and sort of flip them around and look at them differently. When you can do that, again, when you can kind of create that type reaction, that is a great time as well to invite people to take the next step. If you've just had you just had your mind blown, then that's a great time for someone to say, hey, if you'd like more of this, or if that's made you think, come and let's chat about, whatever your offer is. So that's another really, really great piece of type of content if you want to invite someone to take the next step to work with you. My final piece of content is perhaps the most common that we see out there, and that is literally just solving a problem. So that is your kind of traditional value content. So this is where you do your how-to content, your top tips, and all of that kind of stuff. So we've definitely kind of seen this. This is everywhere, this type of content. But when you really do this, when you really are able to solve a problem for your ideal clients, when you're able to answer a question, give them a way of doing something that they didn't know how to do, and essentially solve any kind of problem that they're facing, in your niche, then again, that's really helpful. And when you've just helped someone and you've just given them value in that way, then of course that's another really great opportunity to say, hey, if you want more help with this, and then tell them about your offer. So I hope that's been helpful. Those are my 4 types of content. Do let me know, A, if you're already using any of these types of content in your business, and if so, which ones and how they're working for you. And B, if you're not, and you've decided you're going to start trying to build some of this type of content into your content plan in the future. If you'd like any kind of tips on how to do that, I would obviously feel free to contact me, feel free to tag me in the comments and ask me any questions, but I would absolutely also invite you to come and join my Facebook group, Fully Booked Mums, because we have more in-depth workshops in there, we have Q&As and all of that good stuff. So if you're not already in the group, do come and join us. It's called Fully Booked Mums. We're heading now towards 1,000 members, nearly there. So yeah, come join us. It's a lovely, lovely community to be in. And I shall leave you with that. I'm going to go and sit in the sunshine and enjoy the rest of the afternoon. Have a wonderful day, and I shall see you again soon. Take care.